welcome to today's video. I'm glad to have you here. So starting off, we're going to do these reverse hyperextensions on the Smith machine. I've actually never done this workout before on the Smith machine or at all. I've heard others rave about how good this one is, and so I wanted to give it a try, and I actually really like it. I kept the weight pretty light on this one so that I could focus on the movement itself and not have to worry so much about the weight. I felt this one in my hamstrings and my glutes, but mostly my glutes and like more in that upper shelf region. And on this one I did 3 sets. Next I moved on to hip thrust, and again on this one I did 3 sets. As always, we're looking forward, keeping our chin close to our chest to avoid hyperextending our lower back. We're keeping our core tight to protect our spine, and our feet are directly under our knees. The foot placement can vary. You can go wide, you can go narrow. Just make sure your feet are directly under your knees if you're trying to target the glutes. I love deadlifts. I started my fitness journey at home years ago, and deadlifts was my go-to exercise. Doing it on a Smith machine is a little awkward for me, and so I have been avoiding it, but I've been craving the weight of a deadlift to be able to perform this exercise. So I started off with 10 and more of a sumo stance. I then supersetted it with 10 more of an RDL deadlift. Well, my goal was to do an RDL, but it looks more like just a narrow stance regular deadlift. I'm still working on form on the Smith machine, but at least I got my deadlift fix. Next we have a dumbbell squat, but we are elevated so that we can have extra range of motion. And at the bottom of the exercise, I'm pausing to put extra tension, and then I'm making sure my back stays flat the entire time. And as I come up, I'm making sure my body comes up as one unit and not letting my hips lift first and then my legs. And again, on this one, I did 3 sets. Now we move into a elevated curtsy lunge. I did this one just my body weight, but you can hold a weight in your hand if you want to. Doing it elevated like this puts such a good stretch in the glute medius, that side glute muscle on the working leg. Balance can be a bit tricky on this one, and so if needed, you can set this up against some kind of wall and place one hand against that wall just to be able to stabilize yourself better. For this exercise, I only did 1 set, and I did a burnout on both sides. The last weighted exercise is going to be kettlebell swings. For these, you're going to be hitting your glutes and your hamstrings, but this is also a full body exercise, so lots of muscles are going to be activated during this. You're going to want to keep your core braced and keep a slight bend in your knee as you hinge at your hips. We're aiming to move in more of a deadlift pattern versus a squat pattern. And to finish off, I did some banded lateral walks. I have the band on the lower part of my leg to make this more challenging, and I just did walks back and forth until I could not go any further. I then raised the band to around knee height to make it easier, and then I did walking lateral squats, and I was making sure to really push my knees outward as I was in the bottom position of the squat. And this one was also a burnout, so I just went until failure. And that's it for this one. I appreciate you being here. I hope you have a great workout, and I'll see you in the next one.